Everett came into the program a year ago as a walk-on. Coaches didn't even really know who he was, and in less than 2 years has become their best player. This should be a great matchup between these forwards today.
Pitt controls the tap. It's a different starting lineup today for the Panthers. A change along the front line as they go with William Jeffress and Guillermo Diaz-Graham in the starting lineup instead of Federico and Zach Austin. Diaz-Graham gets in the book on the first possession. Pitt grabs an early lead. South Carolina State, they enter at 3-8 overall. Everett, their top scorer, at over 13 points per game. Loose ball after a rebound, and Pitt's got a run out and an easy one.
And Pittsburgh will look to push it in transition at all times. And great job there by Pitt on that first possession of limiting South Carolina State to one shot. South Carolina State, 4th in the country in offensive rebounds. That is what they do. Pitt right there doing a great job. Jeff Capel yesterday said, we got to take care of the backboard.
The Bulldogs had 29 offensive rebounds in their win earlier this week over Jacksonville. That game on Monday. They've started 0 for 2 from the field. Starting lineup for the Panthers. There's Jeffress and Diaz-Graham down low. It's an electric backcourt between Carrington, Leggett, and Hinson. They combine for over 50 points per game between the three. Diaz-Graham tees up a three. That one barely clips the rim.
Pittsburgh will look to shoot a lot of threes when they are open. More times than not, they're going to have at least 4 guys on the court that are very capable of shooting behind that arc. Jeff Capel even very comfortable with his big guys right there shooting those open threes.
You see that last effort from Pitt against Canisius, 82 points. Made 11 of their last 12 shots in that game. A block, and it stays on this end with the Bulldogs. Pitt head coach Jeff Capel in his 5th season, make it his 6th. He is 82-84 at Pitt. Led this team to 24 wins a season ago. But when we talked to him earlier this week, he said this is a very different team from what he put on the floor last year.
Yeah, a lot of their experience last year was in the backcourt, and their front court was young, and that has kind of flip-flopped this year. A lot younger players, Carlton Carrington, a true freshman coming in, playing big minutes at the point guard spot. So kind of a little bit of a switch there, but again, when you got guys like Blake Hinson and Guillermo Diaz-Graham, Federico returning from a year ago, it helps to have that veteran leadership in that front court.
They won a game in the NCAA tournament, their first postseason win in the Big Dance since 2016. After South Carolina State gets on the board, the jumper from McCarty. Underneath, Hinson in traffic. He'll head to the line to shoot a pair. South Carolina State coached by Eric Martin in his 2nd season. He was on Bob Huggins' staff at West Virginia, even that 1 year at Kansas State. Spent 16 seasons with Bob Huggins and welcomes 8 newcomers in his 2nd year at the helm of this Bulldogs program.
And Eric Martin also played for Bob Huggins at Cincinnati, was a great player, started on a Cincinnati Final Four team back in the early 90s. And we talked about the offensive rebounding, and if anybody knows anything about a Bob Huggins team and staff, they're going to hit the backboard hard. So no surprise that he has brought that same philosophy to South Carolina State.
Hinson's first points come from the free throw line.
Pitt going with a little bit of a 1-2-2 full court pressure here just to try to slow down the Bulldogs, see if they can force an easy turnover. And South Carolina State as well, a team that will certainly mix it up defensively. They love to pressure the ball. They'll get out and press full court as well. You see early on here, Pitt doing a great job on that defensive backboard.
Hinson, catch and release 3 off the mark. Hinson powering inside, and he has it denied at the rim.
Great block there by Drayton Jones. Looks like Hinson had a pretty easy layup, and Jones coming out of nowhere, and Hinson making up for it with a turnover on the other end.
Hinson able to scoop it in. What do you think about the tempo here in the first couple of minutes?
It's certainly what Jeff Capel wants, and I think Eric Martin's going to get a timeout here to try to calm his team down as Pitt getting off to a quick lead here with about 3 minutes into this ball game.
We head to a timeout. Pitt's jumped out to an 8-2 early lead here at the Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh.
Rated mature.
When did you last really feel something? Beyond the extraordinary. Feel it now on PlayStation 5.
PlayStation.
Not much has gone South Carolina State's way to start this basketball game, but we do see a great block here by Drayton Jones. Looked like South Carolina State might get out in transition and get an easy one, but the hustle by Blake Hinson getting back on the other end, creating the deflection, turns it into a steal, gets rewarded with the easy layup out on the break. It has been all Panthers so far early on.
It's been a little bit of a different start for Blake Hinson. We've seen him active in the open floor and around the rim. He averages over 4 made threes per game. South Carolina State, they play a deep bench and get a lot of production from those guys that don't start. Like this guy, Tiba Taylor, had 10 points off the bench against Jacksonville, and he knocks down the jumper.
South Carolina State, not a great perimeter shooting team. They certainly like to try to get the ball inside, in and around the rim to score. They have guys that are certainly capable of making shots, but they just haven't shot it well so far this year. And that length of Pittsburgh could be a factor here today, but on that possession right there, that little mid-range jump shot looked pretty good from the Bulldogs.
Pitt, one of the longest teams in the country. They have great size as Carrington's three is off the mark. And South Carolina State coach Eric Martin said this will be really the first team we've played this year that we don't have the advantage in terms of just player length.
Yeah, this Pitt front line's got 3 guys 7 feet or taller that they can rotate in there, and you just don't see that very often in college basketball anymore. It seems to be much more guard-oriented, but this Pitt team, as long as they're on the front court, they've got some good guard play as well.
Pocket pass underneath. Diaz-Graham can't convert. It's a NASCAR tempo all the way to the rim, and the layup goes with the left from Taylor.
Well, one of the best ways to combat that length around the rim, if you are South Carolina State, is do exactly that. Get out in transition, turn your defense into offense. A great job there. All of a sudden, a little 4-0 run here by the Bulldogs to cut this lead to 2.
Pitt, they are 22-0 all-time against MEAC teams as Carrington's three is on target.
And that was one of the things, that speaking with Eric Martin, that concerned him the most. We said, what do you think about this Pitt team? He goes, well, if you watch that game against West Virginia a week ago, it was scary. Scary was the word that he used. Made 16 threes, 9 of them coming from Blake Hinson, and you can see right there, just a dangerous shooting team.
Leggett knifes in, and he finishes.
You know, that's one of the things that makes a great three-point shooting team so dangerous is you have to respect that line so much. Your defense gets extended, and it opens up the lane and provides driving opportunities like that time from Leggett right there.
Leggett has scored in double figures in all 10 games this season for Pitt, the transfer from Rhode Island. Deep in the shot clock, South Carolina State in some trouble. Still out on the arc. A hoist, and it's in from Michael Teal.
Not sure that was the way Eric Martin drew it up, but you know what? When you go on the road against a great Pitt team, you'll take it any way you can get it.
Teal's coming off a huge game against Jacksonville on Monday. He had a team-high 17 points and went 3 for 3 from 3. The block will send us to a timeout. Pitt leads at 13-9.
South Carolina State, not a great three-point shooting team, but when that clock is running low, you got to let it go. You'll take it any way you can get it.
What I feel in my heart during the Subaru Share the Love event, it's just so rewarding.
We believe in love, not just our customers, but also our community.
And the Subaru Share the Love event is truly an example of that.
Over $285 million donated is phenomenal.
It absolutely sets us apart from all other car companies.
Right now, get a new Subaru, and Subaru and our retailers will donate $300 to charity.
Get 2.9% APR financing on a new 2024 Outback during the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event.
When your family is growing in ways you never expected, agents who are realtors are here for it.
You'd like to be outside the city.
Here for the journey. Here with local knowledge beyond the listing. Because we're realtors, experts in what we do. Bound by a code of ethics.
Hi.
We're here for it all.
Good boy.
Because that's who we are.
These days, the best seat in the house is actually in your backyard. When your own game day setup is this perfect, you just can't wait until you're finally home. Start building your dream backyard at Belgard.com.
There are 4 stories left, and they're all bestsellers. The Wolverines are looking to finish the job, while the Tide are out to reclaim the title. The Huskies are taking aim at the crown, while Texas is finally back. Only one will write their name in the history books.
Football's in full swing. You ready? Front row seat?
Wait for it.
Check. QB of the future? Division on lock? Check and check. MVP case? Brotherly love? Check. Brotherly shove? Check. Football weather? A season that's still anyone's season? Check, baby. NFL on ESPN.
ACC Men's College Basketball is presented by Food Lion, official grocer of the ACC. Well, Pitt forward Blake Hinson became the first Panther to score 25 or more points in 3 straight games since the 1986-87 season when Curtis Aiken did it. And Curtis is currently the radio color analyst for the Pitt Sports Network. There's a look at Curtis and Blake side by side.
You know, throughout the rich history of this Pittsburgh basketball program, quite surprised it's been that long since somebody scored 25 points in 3 straight games, but just goes to show you how talented and offensively how dominant Blake Hinson can be and has been over the last few games. So you see it right there with the tough little fall away coming out of the timeout, just a little isolation play there at the top of the key, and pretty good defense from South Carolina State, but that was just a tough shot. Sometimes good offense beats good defense.
There's his last 3 outings. He's been nails from downtown, has 6 already in this one. The top scorer in the ACC at 21.9 points per game, and he's tops in the nation at 4.2 made threes per contest. Loose ball scrum picked up. Banker no from Taylor. It'll stay on this end with the Bulldogs.
You see Jeff Capel, a little frustration there on the sideline. I'm sure he beat it into his player's head over the last couple days in practice. Guys, we got to rebound the ball. Sometimes South Carolina State's best offense is the offensive backboard, and a little careless turnover there on the underneath out of bounds play.
Hinson able to pluck it off the deck. Driving in with the left. Blocked, no whistle. Bulldogs want to run, and a foul on the floor as Mitchell Taylor drives hard.
Well, we've seen it already a few times in this first half. South Carolina State doing a great job around the rim defensively. We talked about the length of Pittsburgh, but that time Dallas James with the block. And when South Carolina State has been able to get a clean stop, they've been able to get out on the break and transition and had some success. And again, that time drawing the foul. Bulldogs were taken out underneath out of bounds.
South Carolina State led Missouri by 16 in the first half of that contest. They also had a 9-point lead over Furman. They lost both of those games, but they're certainly capable, and they're 3-8, which is already close to their win total from last year in Eric Martin's 2nd season. Drive and kick threes and air ball from Carrington.
It was interesting talking to Coach Eric Martin. He said, look, as new as our team is and as young as our team is, these are just the growing pains we're going to have. He said, I got to stay patient, which he has been doing. And we're just going to figure it out. They played a really, really difficult schedule. They had 6 games in a row on the road. So some early growing pains throughout the season, but he hoped that will prepare them as they head into conference play here towards the first of the year.
They've been a tough out. For Missouri, Furman, and Charleston Southern, the lob and the flush from Federico.
And a great pass there from Carrington off the dribble penetration. And Federico has really improved his offensive game. And Pitt does a great job, the guards have for the last couple of years, of looking for that lob when he gets near the rim.
Taylor knifing off balance, and he gets it down off the glass.
Well, we talked about the three-point shooting ability, but Pittsburgh can score in a variety of ways. And that time, Carlton Carrington getting in the lane, throwing it up to his big man, Federico for the easy 2.
What I feel in my heart during the Subaru Share the Love event, it's just so rewarding.
We believe in love, not just our customers, but also our community.
And the Subaru Share the Love event is truly an example of that.
Over $285 million donated is phenomenal.
It absolutely sets us apart from all other car companies.
Right now, get a new Subaru, and Subaru and our retailers will donate $300 to charity.
Get 2.9% APR financing on a new 2024 Outback during the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event.
My daughter says she works in B2B, where she sells SEO and MRM to CPGs. I don't know how this happened. She was speaking in complete sentences before she was 2.
Parents don't get B2B marketing. LinkedIn does. LinkedIn is the place to be to be.
Hey y'all, while you're working on your applications and visiting campuses, here are 3 things to keep in mind about SUNY. First, you'll be receiving a high quality education. Our campuses are consistently in the top tier of the national rankings. Second, you have access to a variety of supports throughout your entire academic journey. And lastly, SUNY is affordable, meaning you may be able to graduate with less student loan debt. See you, SUNY.
When your family is growing in ways you never expected, agents who are realtors are here for it.
You'd like to be outside the city.
Here for the journey. Here with local knowledge beyond the listing. Because we're realtors, experts in what we do. Bound by a code of ethics.
Hi.
We're here for it all.
Good boy.
Because that's who we are.
These days, the best seat in the house is actually in your backyard. When your own game day setup is this perfect, you just can't wait until you're finally home. Start building your dream backyard at Belgard.com.
Football's in full swing. You ready? QB of the future? Check. Division on lock? Check and check. MVP case? A season that's still anyone's season? Check, baby. NFL on ESPN.
Pitt on top by 6. Right before the break, South Carolina State guard Atiba Taylor was called for a Class A technical foul.
Yeah, we see the drive here and a good finish. Taylor looked like he said something to the official or maybe to the Pittsburgh bench. Couldn't quite tell, but Les Jones there, the official on the baseline, obviously saw it and heard it right away, and just, can't get caught up in the moment like that. I know you got the adrenaline going, you're excited, you just made a big play, but he knows. You can see right there by his body language, he knows that was a mistake, but Pittsburgh going to the free throw line for a couple easy ones here.
Taylor's been the guy so far for South Carolina State. He has 6 points on 3 of 4 shooting. The rest of the team just 5 combined on 2 of 10. As Leggett goes 1 for 2 from the stripe, the 90% free throw shooter misses one. There's Taylor today, off to a hot start. Came off the bench for the 2nd straight game, scored 10 off the bench against Jacksonville on Monday.
South Carolina State switching it up here defensively, going with the full court 1-2-2 back into a 1-2-2 half court zone, trying to see if they can throw Pittsburgh off their rhythm a little bit here and get them to take a quick bad shot.
Deep in the shot clock, Austin blocked. 4th block of the game already for the Bulldogs. And a whistle and a foul on the floor.
And Eric Martin's teams have been known to switch it up defensively. Love to pressure the ball, love to try to protect the rim. You see there Dallas James with the good block. And again, about the 3rd or 4th time so far in this first half where they've been able to turn defense into offense by getting out on the break.
Leggett just wrenches it loose. Coast to coast. Can't finish. And James clears for South Carolina State.
Both teams looking to push the pace here offensively, not having a lot of success the last couple times. And another turnover here from the Bulldogs.
It's been frenetic. Austin lost the handle on the way up. A 3. And it's tipped out of bounds. It'll stay on this end. It has been a track meet since the under-12 here in Pitt.
It certainly has, and a little sloppy both ways by both teams, trying to push the pace, but you got to be able to do so under control and convert. Neither team doing a very good job of that these last few possessions, but South Carolina State already with 5 quick turnovers in the first 10 minutes, so got to take care of the ball if you want to have any chance to win on the road.
Shot clock at 10. Krosky one-on-one. Burrowing throws it up, and he draws a foul.
And not a good foul there by the Pitt Panthers. Did a good job defensively, got it down to 6 on the shot clock there, and you don't want to bail out the offense by reaching in at the last minute. If he makes a tough shot, he makes one, but certainly don't want to do something like that to send him to the free throw line and let him earn it the easy way.
What do you think has led to kind of this street ball type flow that we've had the last 4 or 5 minutes?
Well, both teams look to push the pace offensively, and both teams doing a good job of being active defensively, but just haven't been able to convert on the offensive end when they have gotten on the break.
One is straight in. Here we go. One time.
ACC PM with Mark Packer and Taylor Tannenbaum Wednesdays from Mark's Charlotte studio in his basement at 4 Eastern. They'll continue talking college football and have the latest from around the conference right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. It's a 5-point game. Midway through this first half, the Bulldogs are scrappy, and a lead pass, and Krosky puts it home.
Jeff Capel not going to be very happy with his guys on that last possession. They knew and prepared for this 1-2-2 full court changing defense type pressure from South Carolina State. And he said one of the key points is we have to take care of the basketball against whatever they're doing defensively. And that time with the turnover, best way to make up for a turnover, come down and get it to your best player and your leading scorer in the ACC, let him hit a 3.
First 3 of the day for Blake Hinson. It comes with less than 10 minutes to go in the first half. Again, he averages over 4 per game, tops in the nation. The rebuttals off the mark from a Bulldog. Simpson with the miss, but Land, make it low, couldn't handle the rebound, and it'll stay on this end.
And Eric Martin's teams love to try to create turnovers on the defensive end, and that time just a little sloppy from the Panthers. And again, South Carolina State able to get out on the break where they have had success. But next time down, Pitt doing a much better job playing under control, finding a wide open Blake Hinson who's going to knock down that shot more times than not.
Thought it was interesting, Coach Capel talking about Hinson and just how much he's grown into a leader. He studied leadership During the offseason, he read books, he watched videos, and really took it upon himself to lead this team as we've got an offensive foul on South Carolina State.
And because of the experience that they lost a year ago with all of their backcourt players, Blake Hinson had to step into this role. And obviously had a great year for him last year, but has just really elevated his game. And with a couple new players coming in that had to play significant roles like Carlton Carrington and Ishmael Leggett, he had to be the guy to step up, and it's been very, very successful. And Jeff Capel has said nothing but complimentary things about him, and obviously his on-court play has spoken for itself.
Nice swing. Corner three, Leggett, partially blocked. Deep in the clock. South Carolina State pulls it out of the pack, and they've got numbers 3 on 2. They hit the trailer, and a three from Dubinsky's off the heel. Offensive rebound, Bulldogs. That was already their 7th offensive rebound. Kroski, catch and shoot, no. 8th offensive rebound. Fresh 20 for South Carolina State.
You know, it's kind of the old conundrum of basketball. It's great that we're an offensive rebounding team, but what does that mean? That means we miss a lot of shots. But Pittsburgh playing with fire here a little bit by continuing to let South Carolina State have multiple chances at it each time down.
Timeout on the floor. Pitt leads it 21-15. South Carolina State scrapping here on the road.
The love that goes into a Subaru comes out when Subaru and our retailers share the love. 116,000 animals supported, 3,300 wishes granted, 4.3 million meals provided, and over 400 national parks protected. Be a part of something bigger. Get a new Subaru during the Share the Love event, and Subaru and our retailers will donate $300 to charity.
Get 2.9% APR financing on a new 2024 Outback during the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event.
Tick-tock, tick-tock, the countdown is on! Marshall's buyers hustle until the last minute, so there's always incredible new gifts in store. We get the deals. You gift the good stuff. Give it what you want.
These days, the best seat in the house is actually in your backyard. When your own game day setup is this perfect, you just can't wait until you're finally home. Start building your dream backyard at Belgard.com.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wine, spirits, beers, all nestled on shelves.
Love what you find. Always lowest prices at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
These days, the best seat in the house is actually in your backyard. When your own game day setup is this perfect, you just can't wait until you're finally home. Start building your dream backyard at Belgard.com.
When your life's calling becomes your livelihood, agents who are realtors are here for it. Here with market expertise we put to work for you. When your communities need good neighbors, we're here for that too. Volunteering at nearly 3 times the national average. Because we're realtors, experts in what we do, bound by a code of ethics. We're here for it all, because that's who we are.
Football's in full swing. You ready? QB of the future? Check. Division on lock? Check and check. MVP case? A season that's still anyone's season? Check, baby. NFL on ESPN.
South Carolina State head coach Eric Martin in his 2nd season played for and then spent 16 seasons as an assistant to Bob Huggins. David, does this look like a Huggins team?
This is a Bob Huggins influenced team to a T. You see pretty good defense from Pitt doing a good job closing out, staying in front of the ball, being active, being in their stance, but you just can't afford to continue to give up 2 or 3 chances at it each time down. You know, everybody makes a big deal about boxing out when it comes to rebounding, which obviously that's an important part of it. But the most important part of rebounding is you got to go get the ball. I mean, you got to go pursue it. Rebounding is a mentality, and Eric Martin has done a great job of instilling that mentality into his players, and you can see already with 8 offensive rebounds so far in this game.
Their last 4 games, plus 42 on the glass. They don't shoot it particularly well, but they fight and they claw and they scratch on the boards, and they're only down 6.
And that backboard is a big reason why. And Pitt's been lucky. South Carolina State has not been able to convert a lot of those extra opportunities, but you just do not want to continue to give them that many chances at it.
This guy Hinson has 9 of Pitt's 21. Double comes, and a foul called on South Carolina State. That'll be on Caleb McCarty. Fourth team foul on the Bulldogs. Second on McCarty as Davion Everett checks back in. We spotlighted him at the top, former walk-on, averaging over 13 points per game in his last 6. Has not scored yet here today. Comes away with a steal. South Carolina State forcing the 4th Pitt turnover.
It's just Guillermo Diaz-Graham that time was trying to do the right thing by getting the ball inside to Blake Hinson, who had position. It's just really difficult to make that pass from that angle. You got to reverse the ball to the wing to get a better angle to get that ball inside.
Runner from Everett, and a foul on the rebound called on a Bulldog. That'll go against Drayton Jones.
And I'm sure in that last timeout, Jeff Capel brought it up several times to his team. Guys, we simply have to do a better job of rebounding the ball. You see that time there, limiting South Carolina State to 1 shot. But Jeff Capel also probably saying, guys, we're forcing some silly turnovers here. Now, South Carolina State's done a good job extending the full court pressure, but let's stop turning the ball over and just slow down a little bit. Sometimes press can do a good job of speeding you up to where you make bad decisions, but it's got to slow down and be under control.
Well, and he said in those 3 losses this season for Pitt, one of the glaring errors for the Panthers is that they did get sped up and turned it over more than their average. And there's another, the 5th of the game for Pitt.
Yeah, and that's just a young turnover right there from Carlton Carrington. And what I mean by that is he was looking at the offense. A lot of times, what you need to do to be a great passer is you got to read the defense. Don't focus on the offense. See what the defense is doing, and that'll tell you who's open.
Pitt's turned it over 5 times in less than the last 5 minutes of action. Piercing, turning, and hoisting an air ball. Alston couldn't get it to go. Corner 3 from Leggett. And the rebound for South Carolina State.
You know, we mentioned it at the beginning. The pace certainly favored Pitt there as we see another 3-pointer on the break for South Carolina State. Again, Atiba Taylor playing really well in this first half. As I was saying, the pace early on certainly favored Pittsburgh, but I think right now if you're Eric Martin, you got to be really happy with what your defense has done to limit this high-powered Pittsburgh offensive team. Only 21 points with about 5 minutes to go here in this first half.
Long 2, foot on the line from Carrington. No offensive rebound. Diaz-Graham, a deep NBA range 3 from Hinson is money.
And that's why he's going to get some interest at that next level. You saw how deep that was. That was almost out of bounds there in front of South Carolina State's bench. And, you know, when Blake Hinson gets his feet set at about 6'6", 6'7", he has the ability to shoot over smaller defenders and does such a great job of getting his shot off quickly, but impressive range there on that 3.
Hinson, the first player in double figures today. He's been in double figures all 11 games this season, and the 65th time in his career, north of 10. On the break, Jeffers the lob, and the finish from Leggett, the guard, getting in deep.
Yeah, good fast break there by Pittsburgh. Started with good defensive rebound, made 3 passes out on the break, and that's what Jeff Capel wants to see more out of his team as this game goes on.
Baseline jumpers off the mark, but Pitt's out of bounds on the rebound. Here's that Hinson 3.
Yeah, and it was a little bit of a broken set there, but you see he's clearly 6 feet, maybe more behind that line, and just shot it with ease. And that next time down, a great pass there by Jeffress, and good finish by Leggett. And this is one of the things Jeff Capel talked about yesterday. Was he said his team has not finished halves well this season, and I have a feeling he's going to be keeping a close eye on this last 4 minutes to see if his team can kind of open this lead up heading into the locker room at halftime.
We've talked a lot about South Carolina State's defense. What has Pitt done well defensively? South Carolina State's missed 8 of their last 9 shots.
Well, I'd say through the first 15 minutes overall, Pitt has done a good job defensively. They just haven't done a good job on the backboard like we talked about earlier, but they've been solid. South Carolina State's hit a couple tough shots late in the shot clock, but overall Pitt's defense has been pretty good in the half court.
Missed 3 from the freshman Jalen Lowe. Pitt is 3 for 10 from downtown. Hinson's 2 for 2, but everybody else 1 for 8. A 3 from a Bulldog is an air bank out of bounds. We'll stay on this end with South Carolina State. The bench production's been strong for South Carolina State. 16 of their 18 points has come from the bench. The bad news, the starters have just 1 basket. Carrington, rise and fire. It's an air ball. Shot clock at 10. Taylor trying to end the drought. Tough turnaround, and he hits it.
And again, that's about the 4th or 5th time. We mentioned it just a few minutes ago. Pittsburgh has done a pretty good job defensively. They've been disciplined, they've been solid, but South Carolina State has just made a couple tough shots. And a guy that's been quiet for South Carolina State, Davion Everett, who we focused on there in the open. And so if you're Eric Martin, you got to be pleased. Your best players had a very quiet first half, but you're still only down 6 in this ballgame.
Deep in the shot clock, a long way from the bucket. Low, kick out, Jeffress, catch and release, no.
And as great of a job as South Carolina State has done on the offensive backboard themselves, Pitt with only 3 offensive rebounds here in the first half. And figure a team with their length probably going to be a point of focus at the locker room at halftime.
Sloppy play leads to the 8th South Carolina State turnover, but head coach Eric Martin has to be pleased with his team's effort late in the first.
You are mine. No. Is that a traffic light or a brake light? Select all images before animal. Dog. I feel like dogs herd sheep. Wait, do dogs herd sheep? How else are the sheep gonna get around? It's gotta be the dog. No, sometimes dogs herd sheep.
Sometimes dogs herd sheep!
Wait. Do dogs herd sheep?
The love that goes into a Subaru comes out when Subaru and our retailers share the love. 116,000 animals supported, 3,300 wishes granted, 4.3 million meals provided, and over 400 national parks protected. Be a part of something bigger. Get a new Subaru during the Share the Love event, and Subaru and our retailers will donate $300 to charity.
Get 2.9% APR financing on a new 2024 Outback during the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event.
When necklines are all you see, new Nivea Skin Firming and Anti-Wrinkle Cream with Q10 for neck and chest for firmer skin and visibly reduced wrinkles in as little as 2 weeks. Skin is for owning the moment. Nivea is for skin.
People are choosy, and people can choose from different types of COVID-19 vaccines too. The Novavax COVID-19 vaccine adjuvanted is a protein-based choice. It has not been approved by the FDA, but it has been authorized for emergency use as a COVID-19 vaccine for people ages 12 and up. The Novavax vaccine is not an mRNA vaccine. Instead, it uses traditional protein-based technology to help protect against COVID-19. Don't get the vaccine if you've had an allergic reaction to it or its ingredients. Serious allergic reactions can happen. Cases of myocarditis and pericarditis have occurred. Side effects may include injection site reactions, fatigue, muscle pain, headache, joint pain, nausea or vomiting, and others. Ask your doctor or pharmacist if this vaccine is right for you. Find the Novavax vaccine and fact sheet at findnovavax.com.
When you save like I do, people will talk.
Wow, fancy.
Uh-huh. I fancy a great deal.
Mm-hmm.
Even the trays have trays.
Well, she is the hostess with the mostest.
Who spends the leastest.
Hey, coming up next, Virginia Tech hosts Vermont in Blacksburg at 4 Eastern. Then Virginia squares off against Northeastern. It's right here on ACC Network and the app. Alongside former Louisville great David Padgett, I'm James Westling, and South Carolina State getting bench production like they did on Monday against Jacksonville and really like they have all season long.
Yeah, a team that has 11 guys averaging double-figure minutes on the season, so certainly a deep team and kind of just got to do it by committee sometimes, and it's been that way throughout the course of the year and certainly no different here today. So, you know, sometimes you say, is it good to not be able to necessarily pinpoint to one or two guys who you can rely on a basket for? Yeah, but you know what? When you know you got guys on the bench that can come in and contribute, that's also a luxury to have as well.
On this end, he's not on the floor, but has Pitt been relying too much on Blake Hinson as Jalen Lowe drills a three? Prior to that basket, Hinson has 12 and the rest of his team with just 14.
I mean, Blake Hinson has certainly carried the load here, and I think coming out of that timeout, Jeff Capel drawing up a play with Hinson on the bench, and great little side ball screen action, hit the lift guy out of the corner, and that three looked really good from Jalen Lowe there, and going to have to get a couple other guys going here offensively, especially with Blake Hinson sitting on that bench, which don't expect him to sit over there too much longer. Jeff Capel probably put him back in here pretty quickly.
See if that last three gives Lowe, the freshman, some confidence. Just his fourth of the year, and after a steal, it leads to a dunk for Guillermo Diaz-Graham.
And that was a great pass by Ishmael Leggett to Guillermo Diaz-Graham there. Did a great job of running the floor, and two quick turnovers here for the South Carolina State Bulldogs, and Pittsburgh looking to get a little momentum here. And Jeff Capel's going to be happy to see this, maybe get some positive play and momentum going into the locker room. We see here great advance pass and just a great job by Diaz-Graham of running the floor and getting rewarded by Leggett with a great pass.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that Coach Capel was not happy with how his teams have been closing out halves. Much better today. A blocking foul in the halo. This will put Leggett at the line.
A little bit of a breakdown there defensively by South Carolina State. Leggett was dribbling back out, didn't think he had anything, and then realized that lane was wide open and going to the free throw line to try to extend this lead even more here with about a minute and a half left to go.
What do you like about Ishmael Leggett's game? He's got today 7 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists, but he's averaging over 6 rebounds per game as a guard, just 6'3" on the season.
I think that's what Jeff Capel likes about him most, is his ability to rebound as a guard. That is just so important. You can't say, okay, guys, we've got 3 7-footers on our roster. We just got to rely on them to get the rebounds. No, you can't do that. If you've got guards that can average 5, 6, 7 rebounds a game, that just goes such a long way for your team. But you said it, his versatility just kind of finds a way to fill up that stat sheet in every category, and doing so far here in this first half.
Pitt's on a 7-0 and an extended 15-5 run to take their largest lead of the day. It's a baker's dozen, 13. Shot clock at 10 for the Bulldogs. Krosky on the handle. Taylor off the back rim. And it's one and done for the Bulldogs. Final minute before the half. Down low, Diaz-Graham, and he's fouled. 7th team foul on the Bulldogs.
And again, Guillermo Diaz-Graham doing a great job of getting out and running. He started that break with the defensive rebound, and that's twice now in the last couple of possessions where he has taken off and run the floor. Great hustle, and he's been rewarded. His teammates have found him with the dunk earlier on, and now going to the free throw line for a chance at 2.
He's a 58% foul shooter. Drills the first one as Pitt pushes their lead to 14. And these Pitt bigs, you mentioned all the 7-footers and the guys that are just under 7 feet tall, but they all move really well. I mean, how advantageous is that for a team that wants to play at their tempo?
Yeah, it fits what Jeff Capel wants to do perfectly, and give him and his staff a lot of credit. I've had a chance to cover this team quite a bit over the last few years, and the development and the improvement that these guys have shown has been really remarkable, and that's a credit to Jeff Capel and his staff for continuing to put that work in with these guys.
Everett still can't find the bottom of the net. He has started 0 for 4, has not scored, the top scorer on the season for South Carolina State. Hinson's threes wide right, offensive rebound, stick back, no, tapped around into the hands of a Bulldog.
You see the length there at Pittsburgh. Even though they weren't able to convert with both the Twins in the game at the same time, that just presents such a problem there on that back line. And again, another Bulldog turnover.
Hinson ahead for a thunderous double-fisted dunk. Halftime is here, and Pitt takes their largest lead of the contest into the locker room on a 10-0 scoring run. Shot clock into single digits for the Bulldogs. Atiba Taylor was their top scorer in the first half. All alone underneath, a slam from Drayton Jones.
And a great job there of not panicking as that shot clock ran low. Would have been very easy to kind of force up a bad shot. And Drayton Jones just getting open there behind the defense. And you know, if you're Eric Martin's team here, you just got to slowly chip away at this lead. They're continuing to stay with that half-court 1-2-2 zone. It was effective there in that first half, but just got to find a way to find Blake Hinson, most importantly. Can't let him get anything open.
First half stats, South Carolina State didn't shoot it well, but they out-rebounded Pitt. Carrington from the corner, around and out. Panthers are 22-0 all-time against MEAC teams. South Carolina State picked last in the preseason MEAC poll, and they've got the first 4 points of this second half.
Pretty much the start you wanted if you're Eric Martin, but Pitt 2 times in a row there defensively they've helped up too early. The dribble penetration, they're helping up too early, and there's nobody left to cover down on that baseline, but a great job by the Bulldogs of dropping off for the easy layups.
This looks like a team, South Carolina State, that's going to pose some real problems in league play.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And Eric Martin talked about that with the tough non-conference schedule they've played. And we see here just 2 great drop-off passes and for the easy finish. But that non-conference slate there, they had 6 games in a row on the road as they force another turnover here from the Panthers. His hope was, look, it's a fine line. You don't want to crush the confidence of your players by going on the road against high major opponents and just getting your brains beat in. But at the same time, you got to play against good teams if you want to get better. And so he's done a very good job of kind of balancing that act, and he's hoping it'll pay dividends. And with the way they've played here and been resilient, I think this team is certainly going to be one to keep an eye on in the MEAC as the new year rolls around.
Carrington on the move for Pitt. And Leggett stepped out of bounds on the catch. Second turnover for the Panthers in the early minutes of this second half, and that's number 7 for the game. Pitt, they were an 11 seed in the NCAA tournament a season ago. Won one of those first 4 games. And they took down Iowa State in the first round. They lost in the second round, so they went 2-1 in the tournament last year. They were 6-4 through 10 games early on in the season. They're 7-3 this year. There's their season summary from last year, that first 20-plus win season since 2015-2016. 14 ACC wins, including some big ones in the month of February. And Jeff Capel was named the League Coach of the Year.
Yeah, very rightfully so, and a great pass there by Guillermo Diaz-Graham against that zone to a wide-open William Jeffress. But yes, Jeff Capel did an unbelievable job last year coaching this Pitt team. I mean, to go 14-6 in the gauntlet that is the ACC, I mean, that's just incredible. So very well-deserved honors in that Coach of the Year. But he loves his team again this year. We talked about some of the turnover they've had, but a lot of good key returning players. Obviously, Blake Hinson leading the way, but he's very excited about his team this year.
Diaz-Graham bothering the shot, then he rips down the rebound. Fuels the break ahead to Jeffress. Swiveling, lost it on the way up. A strip and a foul called on South Carolina State.
And I think that's what Jeff Capel is going to want to see his team do more of here over the last 16 minutes is let's get out on the break. We mentioned it. That's why they had a lot of success there closing out that first half on a 10-0 run. Did a good job securing the rebound. Let's get it and go. They did a great job taking advantage of that. And again, a good job with the advanced pass and Jeffress getting fouled and going to the free throw line. That is Pitt basketball that Jeff Capel certainly wants to see.
2 shots here for Jeffress. Swish is in the first. We asked Coach Capel, how is this team shooting the ball so well from beyond the arc? I like the terminology that he used when he said the ball has energy. What does he mean by that?
It doesn't stick. So offensively, it's always moving. You know, the killer of great teams on the offensive end can be when the ball sticks. If it gets to one guy and then it stays there for 3 or 4 seconds. You know, a lot of programs actually keep track of how often a player is holding the basketball on offense, with the thought being the less time you're holding it, the better, because that means the ball is always moving. And the more the ball moves, the tougher it's going to be for the defense. So he is continually harping on his team to keep that ball moving. And when you shoot it as well as they do, you can certainly see why.
Spin move, leg it all the way for a layup.
And great job there creating the steal on the defensive end and a great spin move under control and able to finish. And you know, Pittsburgh, we've mentioned it time and time again, when they're able to get out on the break, just a great job of converting and finishing.
Timeout.
Eric Martin's team's gonna need a little bit of a timeout here, but you see Pittsburgh turning defense into offense and a great spin move. The Panthers trying to open up this 17-point lead.
Estaremos ahí por si le pasa algo a tu auto en este día especial.
Mamá, para eso tengo State Farm.
Es que es peligroso manejar en carretera.
Si pasa algo, le mando un texto a mi agente. Tranquilos. State Farm estará ahí las 24 horas si los necesito.
24 horas. ¡Ay! ¡Ay! ¡Tan linda como siempre! ¡Ay, qué ven, hijita! Pasa.
Amor. Como un buen vecino, State Farm está ahí. Llama para obtener una cotización hoy.
Buddies, I present to you the Kerwin Frost Box. Yeah! I'll take that. Yo, buddies, let's get that box.
Almost showtime, my lord.
Oh, no. Go. Come on, let's go. Hurry, everyone.
Let's go.
There he is, buddies. Get him.
Hey, buddy. That box is for everybody. There's a little McNugget in everyone.
Coming to you from Frost Way, with a buddy and a meal in every box. The Kerwin Frost Box.
Our founder once said, "Don't let the day pass without any action." We can lead more meaningful and constructive lives through the pursuit of activities that will ensure a better today than yesterday, a better tomorrow than today. To honor his vision and make a positive impact, we're committed to creating a greener, more equitable future for everyone. Learn about our commitment to the next generation.
Filling the trades gap.
Your dry skin story changes from one day to the next. Try Eucerin Advanced Repair and switch. It doubles your skin's moisture and repairs dry skin over time. So tomorrow can be a different story. Eucerin, recommended and used by dermatologists.
Welcome back to the Peterson Events Center with David Padgett. I'm James Westling. Pitt, what has made them so connected offensively?
Sharing the basketball. Very simple. You know, average over 15 assists per game on the season, less than 10 turnovers, which is very, very impressive. And you see already here today, 12 assists on 15 made field goals. We mentioned it before the break, talking about Jeff Capel really puts emphasis on the ball having energy. It's never stopped. It's always in motion. big key as to why his team has been very successful so far early on this season, building off of a great year last year. Just continually share the ball. And it's one of the things he loves about them is their unselfishness.
Shot erased by Leggett, his third block of the season. Pitt has not shot the ball from beyond the arc up to their standards, but still have been able to build a 17-point lead. A foul on the inside as Guillermo Diaz-Graham is down. We'll check on him when we come back. Here's a look at that last foul. David, did you ever take any shots like this down low in the post when you played?
If you play long enough, you're going to get hit in the face once in a while, unfortunately. And obviously no ill intent there. Just turned and got a hand right to the face there, but got up and ran right back over to the bench saying, you know what, if I don't get back over there in front of Coach Capel before too long, he's going to take me out. So looks like Guillermo Diaz-Graham's going to be just fine to continue in this game.
He's had a nice game, 7 rebounds, 5 points, 3 assists, and a tap out for Hinson, who lines it up and knocks it down.
And a great play there by Guillermo Diaz-Graham with the tap out. Wasn't able to secure the rebound with 2 hands, but did the next best thing, which is tap it out. And when you can tap it out to the guy like Blake Hinson, he's going to make you look even better knocking down that 3.
Pitt's on a 10-0 run. Stop and pop at a foul, and this will put Taylor at the line for South Carolina State.
You see here, this is where the length just takes over, but just a really heads-up play. I mean, if you can't grab it, at least tip it back out, try to keep it alive, because when that shot goes up, all the defenders are going to be inside the three-point line, and one of the best times in basketball to shoot a 3 is off of an offensive rebound there. So just a heads-up play from Guillermo Diaz-Graham, who you mentioned has had a great game here this afternoon.
He really filled up the stat sheet against West Virginia. Had 15 points, 6 of 7 shooting, also went 3 for 4 from beyond the arc. That's a 7-footer that can step out and hit threes and run the floor as well.
Yeah, I've spoken to Jeff Capel in the past about it. You know, both of them are from Spain, from the Canary Islands, and, you know, very typical of European-style basketball is, regardless of your size, you work on skill development from a very early age, and you can see the way he moves, the way he's able to shoot the basketball, just a very, very skilled player, and I know Jeff Capel certainly loves having him on his team, especially today.
Couple of free throws from Tiba Taylor, who leads South Carolina State. He's the first Bulldog in double figures with 11. And here's some full court pressure. Diaz-Graham, the lob, too high for Federico, out of bounds.
And you love the unselfishness there, and not too often do you see a 7-footer, and this is Jorge Diaz-Graham getting into the game, trying to throw a little bit of a lob pass there. Good idea, just better execution. Timing was a little bit off there, but again, Pittsburgh trying to really push that pace and get out on the break.
8th turnover for the Panthers today. Floater in the lane, in and out, no. And Federico with the rebound. Lead pass, Hinson soaring in, and he lays it home.
And again, another great advance pass, that time by Jalen Lowe to Blake Hinson, getting out and running. And, you know, Pittsburgh's done a great job on the defensive end of this floor, especially on Davion Everett. You know, we mentioned him in the open. Has been kind of the guy this year for South Carolina State. Very, very quiet here so far this afternoon.
Another rim run, Leggett. Bulldogs rip it away. South Carolina State without a field goal the last almost 5 minutes of action. Hook pass. Leggett steps in front to bother it, and a whistle and a jump ball. Arrow favors Pitt.
Fast break 101 basketball doesn't get much more simple than this. When you have to take only 2 dribbles to get the ball from one end to the other, you're doing something right. And that time, Blake Hinson, great pass though by Jalen Land, hitting him right in stride for the easy 2.
20-point lead for the Panthers. Federico underneath, muscles it home.
Not too many teams across the country can go 7-footer to 7-footer from the perimeter inside like that, but Jorge Diaz-Graham with a great little bounce pass away from the defense, and when Federico catches the ball in there with 2 feet like that, he's going to be almost impossible to stop.
Jorge Diaz-Graham commits the foul.
You see here, good little shot fake and the one-handed bounce pass, just great skill, and good job there by Federico of not bringing it down. He caught it, kept it high, and was able to finish.
Jorge Diaz-Graham coming into today, 7 assists, just 3 turnovers on the season. I mean, those are reserve guard numbers in terms of passing.
You know what else is impressive for this Pittsburgh team? If you take a look at their stat sheet, we mentioned the inexperience and the younger players like Carlton Carrington, who's checking back into this game. A true freshman has 61 assists and only 19 turnovers so far in the season. That is almost unheard of for a true freshman. So you can see why Jeff Capel is so excited about this young but talented team.
20-point lead for Pitt after the free throws from Teal. Some pressure applied by South Carolina State. Couple of freshman guards playing keep away in backcourt, Lowe and Carrington. Diaz-Graham tees it up. Oh, on the follow, Austin throws it down.
Zach Austin coming off that right wing out of nowhere with the 2-hand putback, giving South Carolina State a little taste of their own medicine with the offensive rebound, and great finish there on the other end for the Bulldogs. And again, Pitt getting out on the break.
Whistle and a foul called on a Bulldog. Back to the dunk from Austin.
And one of the most vulnerable parts of a zone defense is the offensive glass, because you don't necessarily have a man to block out. You're more responsible for an area, and that time Zach Austin just did a great job crashing from that right wing, and a terrific putback dunk.
Austin, the transfer from High Point, junior from Winston-Salem, averaging just over 6 points and 5 rebounds per game. He was all Big South a season ago. Federico at the line. A brick on the first one. You know, David, Pitt's only hit 5 threes today, 5 for 16 from beyond the arc. This has been kind of a different effort, a different style of play from Pitt today.
It has, and I think that it goes to show how versatile they can be on offense, but give them credit. South Carolina State has played that 1-2-2 half-court zone defense for a majority of this game, and Pitt has done a great job of not settling for a bunch of perimeter jump shots. They've done a good job of getting the ball into the middle of the zone and had a lot of success from there. And obviously when you also get out on the break and are able to finish, it's certainly going to help your field goal percentage as well. And Jeff Capel there just not happy with that foul on the defensive end. And a great finish there by Jordan Simpson, going to the line, chance for a three-point play.
Caps off the old-fashioned three, trims it to 17. Low crossing, lobbing, and a dunk for Federico.
And that has become part of Pittsburgh's offense. Federico has done a great job of learning how to just stay around the rim, and when his teammates and those guards get into that lane off the dribble penetration, they are looking to throw that ball up, and that is a very, very effective weapon to have on the offensive end.
Federico had 39 dunks a season ago, and he commits a foul on this end. It'll send us to the under 12, Pitt by 19 at home.
And it has been all Pittsburgh this afternoon. Federico with the easy two-handed dunk. Panthers cruising here in Pittsburgh.
Estaremos ahí por si le pasa algo a tu auto en este día especial.
Mamá, para eso tengo State Farm.
Es que es peligroso manejar en carretera.
Si pasa algo, le mando un texto a mi agente. Tranquilos. State Farm estará ahí las 24 horas si los necesito.
24 horas. Ay, ay, tan linda como siempre. Ay, que ven, hijita, pasa.
Amor. Como un buen vecino, State Farm está ahí. Llama para obtener una cotización hoy.
Buddies, I present to you the Kerwin Frost Box. I'll take that. Yo, buddies, let's get that box.
Almost showtime, my lord.
Oh no! Go, go, go!
Come on, let's go. Hurry, everyone.
Let's go!
There he is, buddies. Get him.
Hey, buddy. That box is for everybody. There's a little McNugget in everyone.
Coming to you from Frost Way, with a buddy and a meal in every box. The Kerwin Frost Box.
Little man.
Yeah. Why are you always trying to one-up me, bro? Me? I thought you was the #1 son. All right. But did you remember to buy the coffee maker from Mom, though? Once again, way ahead of you. Yeah, but I found a better deal. Wait, how? Shop with Google, little bro.
Filling the trades gap.
Whenever you're ready.
I'm ready right now.
All right.
Key card from the...
I can come back.
Nope, we are good to go. That is not it.
You ready? How we doing up here?
His name was Cain. He had a horse,
along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
When necklines are all you see, new Nivea Skin Firming and Anti-Wrinkle Cream with Q10 for neck and chest for firmer skin and visibly reduced wrinkles in as little as 2 weeks. Skin is for owning the moment. Nivea is for skin.
Well, the Peterson Event Center, known as one of the best home courts in the nation. But David Padgett, you wouldn't know anything about that. You poured in 21 points back in 08 against DeJuan Blair in this Pitt team.
Well, this is certainly an embarrassing surprise, but yes, I had a lot of great experiences in this building. It, certainly known for being one of the more hostile environments, especially back in those Big East days. And, we obviously had some pretty good teams too. We were, for whatever reason, just always seemed to play well in there. So some good memories from the Peterson Event Center.
61% from the field, David Padgett, second in Louisville program history, all Big East, made the Elite Eight. Quite the resume, and I think have to be an extremely rare company just in terms of the success you had in this gym at Pitt.
Yeah, like I said, we were playing against some phenomenal Pittsburgh teams. Jamie Dixon had it rolling back there in the day, and we just, for whatever reason, we just always found a way to play well in this building. Yeah, like I said, a lot of great memories from the Peterson Event Center for myself and a lot of the Louisville Cardinal fan base.
Jorge Diaz-Graham stepping out and canning a three. It's his 8th three of the year. These bigs are capable from the perimeter for the Panthers, and they lead by 22. On the floor, we've got a tie-up. Arrow favors South Carolina State.
Well, you can see why they are one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country. Obviously, we've talked a lot about Blake Hinson and his ability to shoot the ball, but when you have 7-footers that can step out and do it as well, it is certainly an added bonus when you look down your bench and say, go ahead and knock one down.
8 to shoot for the Dogs. Long three. Off the mark, rebound Pitt. Pitt's won 91% of its non-conference games here at the Peterson Center. 77% of their contests at home. Collectively, runners off the mark from low. Offensive rebound. Diaz-Graham. Pitt cycles it out with 10 to shoot. Hard pass. Diaz-Graham gives it up. Low catch and release. It's good.
And tomorrow when this Pittsburgh team gets together and watches this film, Jeff Capel is certainly going to praise his team for that possession right there. We talked on it earlier about how he loves the ball to have energy, and that possession right there was phenomenal. Probably 10, 12 passes, if not more. And don't settle for a good shot when you can get a great one, and that is exactly what happened on that possession.
Pitt putting on a clinic. Their largest lead of the day once again. They've pushed it to 23. They're on an 8-0 run. Three ball, short from Dubinsky.
And Pitt has done a great job here in this second half of taking care of the backboard. We spent a lot of time in the first half talking about South Carolina State and their ability to rebound the ball on the offensive end, but no offensive rebounds for the Bulldogs here in this second half.
Diaz-Graham fighting. Austin from the corner. Didn't get the friendly roll. Volleyed off the glass, kept alive. Look at the hustle. And a foul called on South Carolina State.
Just phenomenal hustle there by the Pittsburgh Panthers all the way around. Zach Austin selling out it behind his team's bench and just keeping the ball alive on the backboard. You see the length there, just having an impact, and great hustle by Zach Austin, taking out one of the managers back there behind the bench, but kept the ball alive, and Panthers are going to keep possession, so just terrific hustle. Jeff Capel is going to be really happy to see that as well.
As a former player and coach, this time of year, it's mid-December, right before the holidays, right after finals, the lob and the finish from Zach Austin. But is it hard as a player to get locked in this time of year and as a coach as well?
You know, it's quite the opposite, actually, because school is over for the semester. You don't have to worry about classes or study hall or anything like that. All you're doing is focusing on basketball for these next few weeks. Obviously, the holidays, players will get a chance to go home and that kind of stuff, but it is all basketball all the time over winter break, and it's a great time to kind of try to regroup, really work on the things that you need to work on from a team standpoint, because once that calendar flips to the new year, you are full steam ahead into the conference schedule, and you got to be clicking on all cylinders. So it's a great time of year to kind of rally your team together and say, all right, we got through the non-conference, now let's focus on the next part of our schedule.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Here's this week's featured women's college basketball matchup right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Number 14, Notre Dame. They've won 7 straight, and tomorrow they square off against Purdue at the Joyce Center. Coverage begins at noon Eastern. Couple of free throws from Taylor. Pitt leads at 60-35. That ends the 10-0 run for the Panthers in this second half. Pitt plus 11 on the glass here in this second half. Austin running the floor. The Euro step finish, no. Low from the top. Can't hit the dot. Krosky lost it. The cutter low all the way, and he has it blocked out of bounds.
And Pittsburgh has been really, really active on the defensive end here in the second half, especially over these last 5 or so minutes of just getting deflections, getting their hand on the ball, getting tips, creating steals, and they've done a great job of kind of suffocating this South Carolina State offense, and then conversely doing a great job getting out on the break and able to finish. And really impressive performance here, especially in the first 12 or so minutes of the second half by this Panther team.
What do you think is the ceiling for this Pitt team? I mean, they made the tournament last year. They're off to a 1-game better record through 10 than a season ago. I know it's so early. They've only had 1 ACC contest, but just in terms of the eye test, what do you see as Austin gets fouled at the rim?
Well, I think a lot of their success is going to be determined on the play of Carlton Carrington, a true freshman point guard who we've talked about, who's had a terrific season. I mean, I still look at that 61 assists, 19 turnover numbers through the first 10 games. I mean, that was just incredible. But, you got to have great guard play to make a deep run come February and March. And I know that might sound like a little bit of a cliche, but it is so paramount that he continues to play well. But the luxury that he has is he is surrounded by great experienced players like Blake Hinson, Guillermo Diaz-Graham, Federico, Jorge Diaz-Graham, guys who have been here. So, as young as this backcourt may be, there's a lot of experience in the front court that can kind of help lead those younger guys along the way.
These are all new players on your screen for Pitt, and they've all been very productive through the non-conference. And Lowe's logging a lot of minutes today. He's played already 16 off the bench, the freshman who is actually a higher rated recruit than Carrington out of high school.
And you've also got guys like, you see a good move there by Mitchell Taylor on the other end. But, going back to guys like Ishmael Leggett, the transfer from Rhode Island, I mean, he's a junior, so he's played enough college basketball. So, like I was saying, there's enough around Carlton Carrington from an experience standpoint to kind of offset. Oh, as we see a big-time finish there by Zach Austin. Wasn't quite sure if he was going to try to. I wasn't quite sure if he was going to try to tear the rim off, but he certainly did there. And again, another guy, you just talk about the experience. And Zach Austin, second time today, he has shown that athleticism, just a big-time dunk on the break.
Points in the paint are now 34-13 in favor of Pitt. Lowest field goal percentage that Pitt has held to an opponent this season was North Carolina A&T. They held them to 27%. South Carolina State's at 30. Federico misses a bunny. Lead pass Taylor. Swoops in and scores. And Pitt throws it away on the inbound. That's their 10th turnover. Sends us to a media timeout.
And Zach Austin doing his best to try to make it into the Sports Center top 10 tonight with the hammer dunk on the break. Panthers cruising here at the Peterson Event Center.
Estaremos ahí por si le pasa algo a tu auto en este día especial.
Mamá, para eso tengo State Farm.
Es que es peligroso manejar en carretera.
Si pasa algo, le mando un texto a mi agente. Tranquilos. State Farm estará ahí las 24 horas si los necesito.
24 horas. ¡Ay! ¡Ay! ¡Tan linda como siempre! ¡Ay, qué ven, hijita, pasa!
Amor. Como un buen vecino, State Farm está ahí. Llama para obtener una cotización hoy.
Buddies, I present to you the Kerwin Frost Box. I'll take that. Yo, buddies, let's get that box.
Almost showtime, my lord. Oh no! Go, go, go!
Come on, let's go. Hurry, everyone!
Let's go!
There he is, buddies. Get him!
Hey, buddy. That box is for everybody. There's a little McNugget in everyone.
Coming to you from Frost Way, with a buddy and a meal in every box. The Kerwin Frost Box.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The Home Depot, committed to filling the trades gap.
Whenever you're ready.
I'm ready right now.
All right.
Key card from the...
I can come back.
Nope, we are good to go. That is not it.
You ready? How we doing over here?
Fashion always came easy to me. But when the fashion critics told me to play it safe, I decided to call an audible. Does that make me a fashion icon? Sure, but inspiration is everywhere if you're listening.
Ignite your imagination. Audible.
When necklines are all you see. New Nivea Skin Firming and Anti-Wrinkle Cream with Q10 for neck and chest for firmer skin and visibly reduced wrinkles in as little as 2 weeks. Skin is for owning the moment. Nivea is for skin.
Welcome back to Pitt tonight at 10 Eastern after our men's basketball quadruple header. The Nothing But Net crew will break down the day in the ACC with highlights and analysis of every men's game. They'll look ahead at the best matchups on the schedule in the coming week. That's coverage you can only find in one place right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app.
Another one.
South Carolina State trying to bull their way to the rim, and it's blocked. Here's the Week 6 AP Top 12, and a fascinating note dug out here by Jason. Every national champion since 2004, they were ranked in the top 12 of this Week 6 poll as Carrington scores for Pitt. So, David, who belongs and who doesn't in your eyes?
Well, I think they all belong. There's no question. I think we're far enough into the season to know. I mean, Oklahoma sneaking in there at 11 that nobody's really talking about. Undefeated. You got to think the defending national champion UConn after that performance last night, going out to the West Coast and taking care of Gonzaga at Gonzaga, maybe the win of the year so far. And you know, Arizona, Purdue play later this afternoon. So a lot of great teams in there, all of whom, in my opinion, have a chance to cut those nets down come April.
I'm sure you're ready to make your national champion pick here on December 16th, but you have one or two that you really like?
I mean, it's hard to go against UConn. That may seem like the easy one, but I just was blown away by how impressive that performance was last night. The only loss so far in the season was at Kansas, missing one of their best players, and lost by 4 and had a chance to win that game. So Danny Hurley just picking up right where they left off a year ago. The Huskies have looked like they are destined to have a chance to repeat this year.
After the free throws, Pitt leads at 66-41. Pitt's made 7 threes today. Their season average is just over 10 per game, but they've been winning games from beyond the arc, not only offensively, but defensively as well. They're plus 15 on the board today from downtown, and one. It'll count for Ishmael Leggett. But we talk about how well they shoot it, but they also guard the arc really well. Opponents only 27% for the season from downtown.
Yeah, they have the luxury of being able to switch a lot. All of their bigs do a great job of moving their feet so they can defend smaller guards. They obviously have length, so are able to close out a little bit more quickly and contest shots as well. So, yeah, Pittsburgh, their offense is going to be fine this year. I mean, they have too many weapons and shoot the ball so well. Jeff Capel mentioned it. They're only going to be as good as their defense takes them this year. And they've had games so far this season where their defense has been very good. It's just got to be a consistent effort night in, night out, especially when you get into the gauntlet of the ACC.
14, 5, and 5 for Leggett, right around his average on the season in all three departments as Pitt leads by 28. Down low, bothered at the rim.
Pittsburgh switching it up a little bit there. Going a little 3-2 zone in the half court, maybe just trying to work on a few different things, give it a couple different looks here. And got both Diaz-Graham brothers here in the game at the same time here. So, just being able to rotate those guys in with Federico. And I think this Pitt team is destined to have another great year in the ACC.
Obviously, you mentioned at the top, Blake Hinson, maybe the best player in the country that nobody's heard of. Averages 22 points per game. Does it all. 6'7", 230, big body that can step out and hit the three. Leads the nation in threes made per game. So obviously, just on paper, he's the big story for Pitt. And then Leggett and Carrington, the big three average 51 points per game. But after that, do you agree with that? It just seems like Pitt, like 4 through 13, are super balanced in terms of the production that they get.
Well, and they're going to have to be balanced, and they're going to have to contribute because every team's scouting report that Pittsburgh is going to play, their number one focus is going to be, we got to stop Blake Hinson. So Pittsburgh is going to need other guys to step up night in, night out. And they've gotten that success so far this year from Carlton Carrington. Ishmael Leggett's had a very good game today, but some of the other guys are even going to have to pick up a little bit more of that slack because there's going to be so much attention paid to Blake Hinson, rightfully so, that it's going to have to be a group effort to try to pick up some of that scoring load when Hinson is struggling.
Jeffress commits the foul. 2 free throws awarded for South Carolina State. This is Everett at the line. He has not scored today. In the book with that free throw. 0 for 6 from the field, the top scorer for South Carolina State. Michael Hewitt Jr. enters the lineup for Pitt. What have the Panthers done to limit Everett's production this afternoon?
Well, scouting is a lot of it. Obviously, they know as their leading scorer, they had to do a good job on Everett coming into the game. But I think just the length. I mean, it has been on full display, and a good pass there from Diaz-Graham to Diaz-Graham. But, Pittsburgh has been very solid defensively, and it's hard. When you're going against the front line that's 7 feet, it's tough. And Diaz-Graham just throwing it just a little bit behind his brother there. I'm sure he'll mention something about that later. But, you take a look right here. They're in the 3-2 zone. They have one of the 7-footers up at the top of the zone. So it's just it's a unique defense to have to play against. And it's hard to prepare to go against that type of length.
Morrow cans a three. That's his first 3 of the season, the 6'8" guard stepping out. Hewitt lock and load. It's in.
And another great possession and a great example of that ball continuing to move. It didn't stay in anybody's hands, making the extra pass. And you got guys like Michael Hewitt coming off the bench and knocking down the three. Just you'll take that extra offense wherever it may come from.
A steal, a run out, and a layup, and 5 straight for Hewitt Jr. off the bench.
And the bench is going to roast him later about that one. They thought he was going to get up and try to dunk that one, but smart play there. Don't try to dunk it and not get the points. Just lay it in and take the 2.
Down low, a block. 8th hit rejection. They hit the trailer. Austin soaring in.
And the unselfishness here by this Pittsburgh team, just impressive to watch. You know, you can tell they all really enjoy playing with each other and just have done a great job in this entire game of making the right play on the break.
They have 21 assists on their 29 field goals. When they go 20 for 20, a dunk for Diaz Graham. He gets in on the fun around the rim. Capel's 15-0 at Pitt when they've got 20 assists and 20 makes, and it's all Panthers.
Estaremos ahí por si le pasa algo a tu auto en este día especial.
Mamá, para eso tengo State Farm.
Es que es peligroso manejar en carretera.
Si pasa algo, le mando un texto a mi agente. Tranquilos. State Farm estará ahí las 24 horas si los necesito.
24 horas. ¡Ay! ¡Ay! ¡Tan linda como siempre! ¡Ay, qué ven, hijita, pasa!
Amor. Como un buen vecino, State Farm está ahí. Llama para obtener una cotización hoy.
Buddies, I present to you the Kerwin Frost Box. I'll take that. Yo, buddies, let's get that box.
Almost showtime, my lord.
Oh no! Go, go, go!
Come on, let's go. Hurry, everyone.
Let's go!
There he is, buddies. Get him.
Hey, buddy! That box is for everybody! There's a little McNugget in everyone!
Coming to you from Frost Way, with a buddy and a meal in every box. The Kerwin Frost Box.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The Home Depot, committed to filling the trades gap.
Founder once said, "Don't let the day pass without any action. We can lead more meaningful and constructive lives through the pursuit of activities that will ensure a better today than yesterday, a better tomorrow than today." To honor his vision and make a positive impact, we're committed to creating a greener, more equitable future for everyone. Learn about our commitment to the next generation.
For the tip.
ACC Men's College Basketball is presented by Food Lion, official grocer of the ACC. Pitt's currently on a 9-0 run over the last 69 seconds of play, and they lead it 79-46 with 2:47 to go. A look at Blake Hinson. 19 points tonight on just 10 shots, and this team is sharing the rock. 22 assists on 30 made field goals. Taylor trying to jet baseline. He's turned away. Shot clock at 10. Corner. Second thought three off, and Austin the rebound. Zach Austin, 10 points and 4 rebounds off the bench in 12 minutes.
Yeah, Jeff Capel's certainly going to be happy with the contributions he's gotten from his bench guys in this game. And Zach Austin, who'd started every game up to this point in the year, not letting that affect him being taken out of that lineup, coming in and having a big impact on this game. And the difference in the second half, really his big part of it has been the backboard. I mean, Pitt has absolutely dominated the backboard on both ends and has been able to convert out on the fast break and has just done a great job of playing unselfishly. And a lot to build on from this second half and this performance here today by Jeff Capel's team.
Pitt has hit that magical number of 80. Under Jeff Capel, when they score 80 or more, they are 30-2 and 6-0 this season as they lead it 81-46. 18th turnover for South Carolina State. Marshall's checked in to operate for Pitt. Hewitt, another three on target.
Well, no lack of confidence for Michael Hewitt coming off that bench. He was trying to set some kind of record for points per minute here. Just 3 for 3 with 2 threes and a fast break layup. Just instant offense off the bench and trying to earn some more playing time as the year goes on.
Yeah, he has his jersey number. 8 points in 3 minutes of action.
And 0 for 3 coming into this game from behind the arc. So 2 for 2 here today, and just looked really, really confident with both of those makes.
South Carolina State at the line. Federico committed a foul, just his first. 8th team foul on Pitt. Pitt's exploded for 48 points in this second half. They're on a 14-0 run. Panthers will move to 8-3. They'll be 6-2 at home. They have Purdue-Fort Wayne coming up on the 20th. And then it's ACC play. They'll have a 10-day gap between that game and the Syracuse game on the road. Then it's North Carolina and at Louisville. It's coming up for the Panthers. Marshall around the horn to Austin, going in, denied at the rim, no whistle.
Well, if that would have gone in, I think Zach Austin definitely would have been on top 10 tonight. It looked like there was a lot of contact. Obviously no call, so we played on, but you can see the athleticism. And I love the mindset of Zach Austin, just trying to be aggressive and just dunk everything around the rim. You know, a lot of times guys try to draw the contact. He said, no, I'm going to try to dunk everything every time I go in there.
And a whistle and a foul with 47 seconds left. Back to the dunk.
And a great shot fake to get the defender up and just taken off from way out there. And it looked like some contact, but nonetheless, you just got to love the aggressiveness, and got rewarded next time down, and have a little bit of a casual conversation there with Les Jones. And Zach Austin been very impressive off the bench, like you mentioned, for Pitt here today.
And maybe a message being sent by Coach Capel to re-energize him, because, I mean, he looks like a guy that wants back in the starting lineup today.
You know, sometimes you got to shake things up a little bit. Guys may get complacent for whatever reason, and you know, the ultimate motivator is sitting over there on that bench. So whatever the message may or may not have been seems to be working here today for Zach Austin.
With this win today, Pitt's won 12 of their last 14 at home. Only losses to Mizzou and a very, very impressive Clemson team who jumped 11 spots in the latest AP Top 25 poll with their latest win over TCU. Foul line jumper halfway down, pinball's out from Taylor. Deep three. Another offensive rebound with 20 seconds to go. Pitt can dribble out the clock when they get it back. A steal by Marshall, and he's out of bounds with 12.3 left.
You know, you mentioned a great Clemson team. P.J. Hall having a terrific year, and you know, the ACC is going to be tough again. You know, some people say it may be down compared to years past, but it's still the ACC. I mean, you got Virginia, you got North Carolina, you got Duke, you know, you got Syracuse. It's always going to be a gauntlet. And I like this Pittsburgh team to finish certainly in the top half of that league.
That's going to do it. 86-49. Pitt moves to 8-3.